all up as long as you're
And
able
we
to
started the
open
live stream in an argument with Matt leaning back like there's nothing
Let's
going
go,
on.
baby.
In case you guys are wondering, we have been, less so me, I've more been sitting here setting up a live stream while everyone else has been arguing about Luka and stuff. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest Happy Hour. We have our guest, the man he's been on before, our favorite guest, Marcel Martin. You can find him as he's doing the big boom dance or something. You can find him on Mavs Digest, one of the best basketball content creators on the YouTube app. Guys, the New York Knicks, they are linked to none other than Jonas Valanciunas once again. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of other New York Knicks news going on. Karl-Anthony Towns is dealing with an injury right now. The Timberwolves are absolutely falling to pieces, and the New York Knicks are about to play them tonight. Obviously, Marcel's Mavericks are the initial reason why the Timberwolves fell apart. So thank you to Marcel, who's just agreeing here and having a great time for himself. Obviously, this started with the Mavericks-Knicks argument that's going on. So I just wanted to give the
Luka's
intro.
not
You
it.
guys can get back into that. You guys can go right back into that.
Luka's not it, bro. He's not the one that's gonna lead you to the promised land. And you know what? Let me calm down.
Oh,
and
Charlie
foremost,
Nix even said when we got cooked at MSG that he thought about you, Marcel.
should. Every time the Knicks lose, think about me. Every time the Knicks lose, think about me.
I'm dead.
No.
I'm dead.
But anyway,
Dude.
Mr. Concha, why is Luka not?
I'm here for the smoke, baby. Let's go. The energy is here, baby. Queens all day. Let's get it. What do you want to know? Why Luka's not it?
Yeah, sure. Tell me why. But before, I just want to remind you, my guy made it to the finals before your guy. My team made it to the finals before your team, right? We had a Luka Doncic who led this team. Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns. Pick anybody on the freaking Knicks, bro. Like, my guy better than your guy.
Jalen Brunson's my guy. Relax.
All right, so anyway, so Luka Doncic will
OG
average
Anunoby is a champion.
Luka Doncic, while averaging 33.9 points, 9.8 assists, 9.2 rebounds a game while shooting 38% from three on 10 attempts and 48% from the floor last season. How is he not that guy? I have never seen these type of numbers from someone who has gotten this much disrespect, and maybe LeBron James, but at least LeBron James to some degree has gotten a level of respect in his career. So please tell me how Luka is not that guy. And I'm not trying to say he's the best in the league. I'm not saying that. My MVP vote for this year would probably have me banished from Mavericks fandom, honestly. So I'm going to keep that to myself. But
it better be SGA.
Yeah.
My dog.
Yeah.
My dog. That's what I'm talking about.
So why is Luka not it? Let me hear it.
Listen, besides all the stats that you throw at me, I'm not a bookworm. I don't care about the stats. All I care about is what you do when you are put in the limelight. Listen,
like when? Like make it to the finals?
I know. I'll give you that. Yeah, he's made it to the finals. That's cool. He made it to the finals. He's got that. Sometimes I go blank. Whatever. He's got that monkey off his back. Okay, cool. But why weren't you able to perform to the level that everybody was expecting? Why are you crying to the refs? That is a very, 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 very minuscule point I'm making. I just don't feel like Luka is. Yeah, he's definitely the top three as best players in the league. But there's something missing with him. In my opinion, my personal opinion, there's just something missing, and I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know if it's how he leads his team. I don't know if it's the way he talks to his teammates, or if he leads the way he leads by example. I can't pinpoint it, bro. But there's something missing with him that is like holding me back to being like, okay, this guy can 100% be the best player on the championship-winning team. I just don't see it. I don't see it when you talk about the likes of the LeBrons, the Steph Currys, the Jokic's.
Okay, so
I don't think Luka's in that class.
Marcel, how old is Luka?
Luka's 25, turning 26.
And he made the NBA Finals 2 years after the greatest player in NBA history did for the first time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Luka's
that's cool. But what about the other examples when he got his boot smoked in the playoffs, losing 5?
Oh, when he was 19. Oh, when he was 20. Oh, when he was 20.
I don't care, bro.
What expectations? Hold on. Real talk. Let's be honest with ourselves. Hold on.
You gotta perform. I don't care.
Hold on, stop that. Because, okay, so really quick, hold on, Dariel.
If you're 40 years old, bro.
The energy.
If you make it to the Western Conference Finals, you better show up and perform. When the lights is on, it's time to perform. Don't give me that 19, 18-year-old crap. I don't care. You're in the round. I don't care. It's basketball at the end of the day. X's and O's, they get thrown out the window, bro. It's a basketball on the hoop. Do what you do. Do what you do all your life. Perform. That's all you need to do. And if you looked at as one of the better players in the league, lead your teammates to the promised land. That's it. I don't care about the 18, 19-year-old crap, bro. That's it. I hate that kind of stuff, bro. Okay, the experience, might it help you? Okay, cool. It might help you for later on. I get it. In that particular moment, he was young. But literally, at the end of the day, it's a basketball on a hoop. And if your skills are as good as anybody else's or better, then you're able to lead your team past whatever round it was, bro. I don't want to hear that crap.
Are you done or you finished?
Okay, well, it's the next channel.
I got the Red Bull and I'm ready to go. What up?
I'm going to take over now because it is a Knicks channel. So, guys, there's a lot of talk about Karl-Anthony Towns and the injuries that he's had. It came out that not only does he have a bone chip in his hand that will not be requiring surgery, he has a sprain in the same thumb, and also he now has jumper's knee on top of all of that. Despite all this, he is questionable tonight, and I think the reason that he's questionable is because the Timberwolves are coming into town, and he wants to play the Timberwolves in his new home, playing against his old team. That is a huge thing. We have a lot of people asking about that in the comments, asking if Cat's good to go. As Charlie Nix, our moderator, mentioned, he's a game-time decision tonight, which is a good sign for Towns. However, over these next few weeks, I think we're not going to see Towns playing consistently if he's playing at all, and the Knicks are going to have to rely on other guys as their big men, primarily Achua, who played 30 minutes against the Philadelphia 76ers, putting up 10, 6, and 3 being blocks. So, outside of that, the Knicks obviously will have to deal with some issues, and just taking a look at the New York Knicks now, it's one of the reasons when you see Towns go down, when Mitchell Robinson is still out, it's why the Knicks keep going back to Jonas Valanciunas, because he's a tradable guy who probably won't cost a first-round pick, and the Knicks did want to sign him over the offseason, but OG Anunoby taking that massive max contract took the Knicks' ability to sign him away from the team. Now, I'm under the belief that the Knicks should not trade for Valanciunas because I think he does not provide the defense the Knicks need. And in order to trade for Valanciunas, you would have to trade Mitchell Robinson away. And that's unideal for so many reasons to trade Mitch for Jonas Valanciunas. But that's the update we have on Cat right now is we're not going to know if Karl-Anthony Towns is playing until around 5 minutes before tip-off as game-time decisions work. On top of that, the Knicks, they were linked to Jonas Valanciunas through Bleacher Report. 2 weeks ago, it came out the Knicks were still trying to trade for him. A month ago, Jonas Valanciunas even said the Knicks were interested in him and that he wanted to sign with them essentially, but a bunch of contract financial stuff prevented him from doing so. So there's just been a lot of noise surrounding this. And where the New York Knicks are at, seeing Towns out right now, seeing Mitchell Robinson away, it does make you wonder what they're going to do with the trade deadline, because I honestly would be stunned if they don't make a single move. There's never been a season where Leon Rose has not made a trade. Outside of the first season, he was on the Knicks when he got hired the day after the trade deadline for some reason. But that is where the New York Knicks are at. Obviously, a bunch of people asking questions about this. And
blame Tibbs.
What's up?
No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, he said blame Tibbs, which has to be
blame Tibbs.
I mean, Chris, we got to talk about it at some point here. Tom Thibodeau, have you guys seen the top 5 minutes leaders in the NBA, and 4 of the 5 are Knicks?
Starting 5? You mean the Knicks starting 5?
It's 4 Knicks and Anthony Edwards at 4, and then Karl-Anthony Towns is at like 9 or 10. So anyone can take this question. Is Tibbs running these guys into the ground? Like, no, I know, but we still got to talk about it because it has to be discussed. It has to be.
I just want to point out the last time I was here, I mentioned how your coach will run your guys into the ground with these heavy minutes, and I was told I was wrong. I was told I don't know what I'm talking about, and lo and behold, it sucks. By everybody in this little chat that we got right now, that's a Knicks fan. But anyway,
it was not Chris. You were part of that. All of us have always said that Coach Tibbs runs his players into the ground January 4th on a Monday night. We've all said that. We've all agreed to that.
But in past years, we haven't seen this. And the reason we're seeing it this year with OG, Mikal, and Josh Hart is because the Knicks don't have a backup wing or forward. So Tibbs is just refusing to play Pacome Dadier for being a rookie, picked in the late 20s. On top of that, also shout out Dariel. The first time we ever did a live stream together was on the draft. And when the Knicks drafted him, I called him Pacome or Pacome the Diet or something like that. It was just phenomenal French by me. We took French for 3 years in high school, so that's unfortunate. Sorry to my French teacher. But look, where the Knicks are at right now, I think Tom Thibodeau would stop running them into the ground if they were able to get a guy who could take minutes away from Mikal, Josh, and OG. But Tibbs doesn't see anyone on the Knicks roster. He doesn't see it with Landry Shamet, who's been completely relegated to the end of the bench. And now it's this weird situation the Knicks are in. I think the answer is you try to get TJ Warren onto this team. The way he's playing in the G League, I think you're against it.
No. I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I would tell you no. Maybe prior to the NBA bubble, sure, TJ Warren was a hooper. And even if he is hooping now in the, let me check my notes, the NBA G League. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, probably not. The problem isn't that you don't have anybody that Tibbs can go to. And it might be true that your bench isn't as talented as you'd like. But to be completely honest with ourselves, where has Tibbs been where he didn't play his guys heavy minutes?
Right.
Is that the same excuse in Boston when he was an assistant coach? That same excuse when he was in Chicago? Where else has he been? Minnesota? I think it was Minnesota, wasn't he? Yeah.
Minnesota.
So like is that always his excuse? Well, I don't have anybody. I only have my starting five. That's not true, Tibbs. As a coach, and trust me, as a Mavericks fan watching Jason Kidd and the crimes he's committing against this organization, it's not the same level of Tibbs, but to a degree it is, as far as it's your job as a coach to, yes, get your starting five how they need to be because they lead your team. But those guys at the bench, they need to be ready for anything because, like you said, you got Mitchell Robinson, who is still injured. You got Cat, who's dealing with injuries. What happens come playoff time when Jericho Sims is now your starting center and he's not ready because he's not getting the minutes, because he's not getting the attention in practice, that his coach is not working with him and the other bench players to make sure that that whole next man up mentality is second nature for these guys. Instead of they're just waiting on the bench like, oh, garbage time. You learn nothing and you never develop during garbage time. You need to get real reps. And when you're out there, you make mistakes, shit hits the fans, excuse my French, but like, okay, that's what you do. The Knicks are what, the second, third seed in the East? Third. And I'm pretty sure the East ain't as tightly packed as the West. So if you lose because you took a chance on some guys, cool. Pick it up next game. But those guys need those reps. That's how they're going to get better, because come playoff time, God forbid, knock on wood, I would not want to see it happen. But let's say any of your starting five, whether that be Karl-Anthony Towns and his weird bone spur thing gets worse, or OG Anunoby for the 11th straight playoff year, he gets injured again. He has never been healthy for a full playoff run. That is a fact. You can check it. God forbid any of that happens. And you got Jalen Brunson. I'm just saying, but God forbid that now Jalen Brunson has to play 48 straight minutes, and y'all are so happy because he's dropping 40 bombs in the playoffs. But what is that getting you? Where is that taking you? Coach Thibodeau is a good coach, but he's not, from my opinion, from my optics and what I see, he's not showing enough love and attention to the guys at the end of the bench.
Yeah,
he did in prior years with the Knicks. That's the weird thing, is for the first time in his career, we saw him use the bench heavily. I mean, last year there wasn't a single Knick in the top 10 in minutes. Like, this is a weird shift this year, and it's because the Knicks traded away their entire bench, whether it's Bojan Bogdanovic or in the Mikal trade, or whether it's
Quentin Grimes.
I don't even know if we can say that, because even if we didn't make the trade, he'd still be only playing 6-7 players. Like, I feel like
that's just so false based off last year though.
And I'm with Chris. The problem is we're doing these 2-for-1 trades. We're giving up 2 players and bringing back 1 player. Yes, we're getting the best player in the deal, and I think the team gets better in every single trade. But the depth this year is rookies, and we know Tom Thibodeau doesn't want to play rookies. It's not because they're not good enough. It's because they're rookies, and for whatever reason, like we've discussed it over and over again, he doesn't want to play rookies just because they're rookies. They don't have the experience. He doesn't want to give them a big head, and because I'm playing so well and I'm only a rookie, like it's my team now. Don't want that to happen. So Tom Thibodeau doesn't have the guys that he wants to play, and that's what's leading to him playing these guys super big minutes. So because last season, like Chris said, no one in the top 10 minutes played. Honestly, Chris, if you had me guess, I still would have guessed 2 players. That was kind of a surprising stat. I would not have expected that, because Thibodeau does this every single year with running guys. But we need guys healthy, man. We need guys healthy.
What I was gonna say is, Marcel, I'm a realist. I keep it a buck. I don't think Luka's gonna be the guy to lead you to the promised land. But I'm also gonna say that I don't think Coach Tibbs is gonna be the coach to get us a championship. I don't think he's gonna be the one.
100%, I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's how the Knicks fan base feels. Like, we're gonna be very appreciative of what he will do and what he has done for us. Like, we're very appreciative, but I just don't think he's gonna be the one with getting the championship. Like, and look at his past examples. The Chicago Bulls, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost in 5 to the Miami Heat and the Heatles. If Derrick Rose never gone down with all those injuries, then it might be a different conversation. But we'll just never know. Obviously, we're not fortune tellers, so we can't tell. But ever since Derrick Rose went down, it was maybe like first or second round playoff appearance. Again, you can make the excuse that he didn't have all of his talent. Okay, cool. Then he goes to Minnesota. I think he's there for 3 seasons. He goes to the playoffs once out of those 3 years. They get eliminated in the first round by the Houston Rockets in 5. Cat is the best player on that team, but no, he doesn't have an experience yet. Oh, my bad. Yeah, Jimmy Butler was the best player on that team, but Cat was the second best, and Andrew Wiggins, I believe, was on that team. So it just wasn't a good mesh. But Coach Tibbs is always looked at as, okay, he's a good coach, but is he going to be a good in-game adjuster? There's too many questions in his coaching resume. And literally, I don't even know how many seasons it is for Coach Tibbs being a coach in an NBA league. But like we have ample examples that we can point to and being like, yo, I don't think you're a good in-game adjuster. And I don't at this point of his career, I don't think he's gonna adjust to that. I don't think he's gonna change. So at this point, I think it's safe to say that I don't think he's gonna be. Of course, there might be an anomaly. He might actually everything might fall into place. Injuries, everyone being healthy, all that stuff. Maybe injuries to other players in the Eastern Conference. I don't know. I can't tell. But I just don't think Coach Tibbs is gonna be the guy to lead us to the championship. So
crazy enough. Crazy enough. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, because I actually have a question to ask you, Marcel. This is one of the reasons why we love having someone who's not a Knicks fan on here, because it's just a complete other side of perspective and liking another team.
Facts.
Dariel, I 1,000% agree with everything you just said. Marcel, do you feel like JJ Redick, because I know you're anti-JJ Redick coaching. JJ Redick, jeez Louise, I'm getting my white people mixed up.
They all look alike.
Matt, look at us. We look like we could be brothers. And Marcel's like, honestly.
Yeah, I said it.
No, but do you think Jason Kidd struggles to make in-game adjustments? Because JJ Redick has said that's the number one reason why he sees fans wanting their coaches fired is because of lack of in-game adjustments. That being said, Dariel, you're 1,000% right. And as one of the commenters said about the minutes thing, the Thunder just ransacked the Cavs with that random guy, that random white guy who also looks like me and Matt, just happened to be the one center on the lineup. So, Marcel, do you have that same, problem with Jason Kidd where you feel like he doesn't adjust in-game?
Yes, and this is actually perfect. This is going to be in correlation to what I was going to say. I'll use Jason Kidd and Coach Tibbs in comparison because, yes, Coach Tibbs, his in-game adjustments are almost as non-existent as Jason Kidd. The only difference is Tibbs will just try and outwork you. He'll try out-hustle you. He will, when he's in front of a brick wall, he will smash his head against that wall until he gets through. Jason Kidd will slap the wall and just give up and walk away, right? So you got two guys that are just very stubborn in their ways. The problem with Jason Kidd and his coaching style is, and I've seen it too many times, because right now we don't have Luka. We've been without Kyrie. He's kind of in and out the lineup, but let's just say we don't have either, right? If it's halftime and we're down by a little bit and we can easily make an adjustment to try and win the game in the second half, the moment the third quarter starts, I see no adjustments. I see weird lineups or very similar lineups to the start of the game. I don't see any changes in our defensive sets. I don't see any changes in our offensive sets. If someone's hot, we're not feeding the hot hand. Very, very, very many times, Mavericks fans will admit this, that we will see someone get hot and Jason Kidd puts him on the bench for someone else. It's very odd on what he does. And I'm never the person that likes to just yell, or blame my coach for every single loss. I really don't. Only lately have I been trying to draw attention to Jason Kidd because when you don't have your best players, I understand that you cannot win every game, but some games you need to try and get creative. You really have to show us how smart you are as a coach and try to find ways to win, try to find new ways to win. There are 2 or 3 coaches I can use as a perfect example for that. The first coach who's doing it this year is Mosley over there in Orlando?
Yeah.
How many of those guys have been injured? Almost every one of their best players have been injured. They're the 4th seed in the East? 4th, 5th seed?
They're 5th seed.
5th seed, which still good. They're still that's still a playoff spot. And they haven't had anybody, and they're slowly starting to get their guys back. Look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were, a first-round exit last year? Second-round exit. Yeah, best team in the East. Arguably, maybe even in the league, even though they just lost to the Thunder, whatever. But, coaches, and my other example, Doug Christie in Sacramento only lost 1 game since he got promoted. Mike Brown's gone, boom. Doug Christie's doing great. My thing is a good coach, with the difference between a good coach and a great coach. A good coach knows how to use their stars to lead you to victory, i.e. the Mavericks last year getting to the finals, and not to throw shade to someone who's not being mentioned, but Nick Nurse of the Philadelphia 76ers, he was given a championship team in Toronto. All he had to do was play the players. Do what they do best. You got Kawhi now, and he won a championship. The years that follow, he failed to even get anywhere near close to that. Had to go in the lottery for 1 year. He goes to Philly, and what? Now, granted, he's got Joel Embiid, who apparently has more PTO than I do. You got Paul George, who got a fat contract to just be mediocre. You got Tyrese Maxey, whose entire talent is being wasted. So, yeah, I get it. But there are coaches that just rely on their talented players. But then you got coaches that can actually coach the entire team and get the best out of everybody, and that's the difference. And unfortunately, Tibbs and Jason Kidd, they're more on the side of, I got great players, I'm gonna just ride them to the sunset, to the championship, to the promised land. And you can't win that way. Even the legendary coach Phil Jackson understood, I need everybody, not just Michael Jordan.
I don't really know how to follow up that, except Luka Doncic is a bomb.
I
No, I'm kidding.
Right, I'm reading the comments, so I got you. So Charlie Nix, our moderator, mentioned that a fun little mock trade. This is for fun. Obviously, would never happen, but is a fun one. The Knicks traded 2 second-round picks, Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson, for Eric Spoelstra. Let me just say, I would do that in 4 seconds.
What the hell?
I would trade the final first-round pick for Eric Spoelstra. The reason the Heat would never do it is because the Knicks and the Heat have made one trade in NBA history. The New York Knicks acquired a first-round pick in 1998 for none other than Pat Riley. And that trade has haunted the New York Knicks ever since. So the Heat would not want to be on the flip side of that. However, I would do that. I would trade a lot for Eric Spoelstra to be the head coach of the Knicks. Clearly top 2, maybe top 1 head coach in the NBA. I think the only other people that rival him. Yeah, top 3 definitely. I would put Steve Kerr in that top 3, and I know Popovich isn't coaching, but as long as he's on the bench somewhere coaching, he is obviously, in my mind, I think he's the GOAT. So
I mean, I feel like Popovich being in that conversation is kind of like, we got to exclude him. I feel like that's kind of like the GOAT conversation. I feel like Michael Jordan needs to be excused because it's just an obvious the facts. I'm not saying he is the GOAT, but I'm just saying there's just so much that you can pull from to make the argument. I feel like you could use that same antics or theory, whatever, towards Greg Popovich. Like, and on top of that, Greg Popovich, like he's not really doing anything. Like,
I got a hot take about Pop.
He's been horrible lately. Is that your take?
Coach Popovich will always go down as one of the best coaches in NBA history. If anyone says otherwise, you're just dumb.
But
the fact of the matter is,
he's been doing a bad job.
He has not been given real opportunity to do that in the more recent years. Right after Kawhi left. Right. You know, you got LaMarcus Aldridge, you got DeMar DeRozan. Okay, it's not that bad of a roster. You still struggle. You know, you get DeJounte Murray, and for whatever reason, he's gone pretty soon. Now you got Victor Wembanyama, so you're starting over. I feel like ever since Kawhi left, the Spurs have been trying to start over, versus, okay, you have a roster, go do something. Like I said, DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, I thought that was a pretty good roster. I thought that was a pretty good team. Didn't really pan out that well. So a coach can only really take the team so far depending on the talent of that team, and he hasn't really had anything similar to what he had since Kawhi left. However, that doesn't negate what he did before. The opposite can be true, i.e. Doc Rivers. That man has that 2008 championship on the top of his resume, and that's all he holds on. That championship is older than some players in the league right now. That's sad.
Yeah, and he made the top 15 coaches of all time, which is insane. When was the last time? When was the last time that Popovich won a title? I forgot.
2008. Oh, I'm sorry,
14,
Popovich.
14,
it was 14. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's been 11 years. It's been 11 years since he's won a championship. I think that is more than enough data where we can be like, yo, you just haven't really been doing a good job lately. Yo, my man put Jeremy Sohan as point guard last year.
He does a good job. He does a good job.
What? Jeremy Sohan? Stop, Marcel. That was a horrible move, bro. What are we doing?
Yeah.
He's working with the players he's got, man. I mean, we all know that Coach Popovich does everything. He drafts the players. He pays the staff, like because Coach Popovich was the GM, right, or the president of operations way back in the day.
Yeah.
And then he fired the coach, and I'm gonna do it myself. Like him and the owner have a very good relationship where he trusts Pop to do anything.
Nah, bro. That Jeremy Sohan move last year was egregious. That was egregious, bro. That was like that was literally Popovich saying like, we don't have a snowball chance this year, so I'm literally gonna throw everything at the wall. And it's like, yo, you can't do that. You still have a generational talent with Victor Wembanyama. Don't do that. Like, it was his rookie year. I get it. It was his rookie year. I get it. But you're still trying to instill the way to play basketball. And I feel like last year, Coach Popovich, he punted on it so bad that he was like, yo, let's just try this. Let's just try that. And it's like, nah, man, you still need some sort of development. You still need some sort of structure to show Victor Wembanyama how to go about it. You can't just that was egregious, bro.
They should have kept DeJounte Murray, man. They should have kept DeJounte Murray. Murray and Victor feed generations.
They
playing tournament, relax.
Murray though, or they might have gotten.
That's true.
Victor Murray just when he's allowed.
No, I'm
gonna
tell you right now, Coach Popovich knows how to tank. He's shown us that his whole career. He knows how to get his man. No matter how talented his team is, he can get his man.
DeJounte Murray and Victor Wembanyama is playing. It's not nothing special. I think it's playing. I don't think it's anything special. I don't think it's like a top.
I think as a Knicks fan, you've been in mediocrity for so long, you forgot what success looks like.
DeJounte Murray is gonna move the needle like that?
DeJounte Murray's like that. Do you not think he's like that?
Oh,
he is not him. He's
this
solid.
He's not him. He's
not him. He's solid.
He's that guy.
Hey yo, Chris. I'm gonna need you to back me up on this because first of all,
I'm on your side.
I have a take that may be a hot take. To me, it's a cold take, but to some people that just don't understand, it might be a hot take. DeJounte Murray in Atlanta was the best player on the team.
Oh, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Second he played point guard when Trae Young got hurt, it was evidently clear who made that team win and who puts up stats. One thing that is true about DeJounte Murray when it comes to just how he is as a basketball player, and the one thing that separates him from Trae Young, we've seen it time and time again, but the one thing you can always count on DeJounte Murray, when the game is on the line, you give him the ball. He will make tough shots. He will rise up for that moment.
Where's that guy?
He also jumped to nearly 40% from three on the Hawks. That was the knock on his game.
That got him traded to teams that want him. Okay, I mean, I'm not behind the scenes making deals. I'm not out here making deals.
Congratulations, right? You got traded to a team that wanted you. Okay, cool. What happened when you got to that team? Did you lead him to the playoffs?
He got hurt.
Oh my God! Here we go.
He instantly.
Here we go with the excuses.
Instantly, first game of the season, he broke his hand. He just now came back.
Broke his hand.
I'm not talking about this season. I'm talking about because I get it. He broke his hand. Okay, you can't do anything about that. You can't control that. I get that. But prior, what are we talking about? He got into the play-in tournament and he lost with the San Antonio Spurs when he was the best player. What are we talking about?
He was the only player on the team. The team was terrible.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm sorry. I guess when we talk about how good a player is, they have to single-handedly beat a team. I'm sorry. Is DeJounte Murray versus another 15?
That's happened so often in history, Marcel, where one guy wins.
Every time.
1988, 1989, Michael Jordan is not going to get past any NBA team ever. I understand that logic. I get that. Not one person can beat a team. I get it. If 1988, 1989, Superman, Michael Jordan couldn't do it, nobody's going to do it. I get it. But at the same time, if Chris is saying that DeJounte Murray is him and him being the best player on those San Antonio Spurs team, why did you lose in the play-in tournament?
I got a hot take.
Wait. Before the hot take,
one game.
I'm about to
win one game.
Let Matt cook.
How? No.
Go ahead, Matt. Get him.
Cook. I got a question. What range of ranking of player is? Can you describe someone as him? Like top 25, top 15? Like where are you ranking DeJounte Murray?
Yeah. How are we doing that?
That's what I got to know. Because
I got to do it by position. I got to do it
by position.
To
me, him. You got to be a top 15 player at like maximum.
That's fair. And
DeJounte Murray is certainly not a top 15 player in the league, regardless of position.
I think it's top 10. I think it's top 10 to be considered him.
I can get behind that. Like I said, 15 is the higher limit of that.
He may not be him. He may not be him. Okay, that might be an overstatement. I can correct myself. It might be an overstatement. But the fact of the matter is he is a difference maker. He is a needle mover. I believe that he can lead a team. Maybe not to a championship, but to a conference appearance, semi-conference. He can definitely do that if he's given the team to back him up. Because as Knicks fans, the three of you, before you got Jalen Brunson, how was it?
We missed the playoffs, and Alec Burks would be the passer in game-ending inbound situations for Julius Randle, who would just towards the ball and then take a fadeaway mid-range. Why was Alec Burks inbounding the ball? The man has showed that he's clutch and hits threes, and Tibbs relegated him to inbound guy.
Wait, so Marcel, what's your point with that?
So my point is, You, as Knicks fans, understand what it's like when you've got a pretty mediocre team around some players who are very talented. Like you said earlier, that it's obviously not in an era where one player can just destroy teams and just carry the championships. You need a competent team. But we can also say that there are players in this league that are of a caliber if they are given players around them. Jalen Brunson goes to New York and hold on. Jalen Brunson in Dallas was playing behind Luka Doncic, something that I didn't agree with. I was one of Jalen Brunson's biggest fans when we drafted him because I saw what he was doing in college. He was a certified champion. He was a winner. He got that pedigree. He got that dog in him. I knew what Jalen Brunson was, but Rick Carlisle hates young players. He hated young players. So he was playing behind Luka Doncic for his entire time in Dallas. But the moment he goes to New York, regardless of the amount of talent when he got there compared to when he first got there to now, he has helped that team elevate itself because he has competent people around him. But then we look at Luka Doncic, another generational talent who went very far with very little talent around him, but he still didn't get the job done. You need the right talent around you. And in reference to DeJounte Murray, he hasn't had that talent. You could argue Atlanta, and I'd argue that Atlanta has always been trash. Fair?
I'm not arguing that. Orlando's always been a hit or miss.
New Orleans. I was born in New Orleans. I'm from the area. Always trash. Always have been. Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, I don't care. Zion, trash. The team has never been good.
Yeah, the organization is horrible.
A player
are you
in the
LSU
right position
fan?
to be successful, they can be successful, and that is DeJounte Murray.
Yo, Marcel, but again, in reference to the DeJounte Murray conversation, you brought up how mediocre the Knicks were prior to Jalen Brunson. And I'm going back to the whole him conversation. I know that you kind of already said that you might have made an overstatement, but this is when you said that, I started thinking about Julius Randle going to the Knicks, and he's a mediocre player, but at least he was able to lead us into the playoffs, not the play-in tournament, the actual playoffs where you had to win 4 games. DeJounte Murray was not even able to get you into the playoffs. He was able to get you into the play-in tournament where he lost every single time. And he lost to New Orleans Pelicans.
Far better than DeJounte Murray in 2020 in that year. In 2021, Julius cleared DeJounte Murray. Julius was awesome.
I'm just saying that.
All right. I got a question. Do you think that if I took DeJounte Murray right now, as is, and I switched him with De'Aaron Fox on the Kings?
I like this.
Do you think that DeJounte Murray would do a worse job than De'Aaron Fox?
I think he fits way better on the Kings, personally.
I don't think he'll do a worse job.
I think DeJounte fits beautifully on that team.
It definitely wouldn't be worse. 100% wouldn't be worse. But I'm not like jumping out the window and say it would be better. I'm right now just thinking about it in the moment. It could be like the same. What do you think? You think it'll be a lot better? Right now, Sacramento Kings, they are in the 9th seed with a record of 21-20 in their last 10.
Hold on, what's the Kings win streak?
Yeah, the last 10 games is my bad. They only won 1 game so far.
What were their last 10? Because they were on a winning streak.
8-2.
They're doing well. Doug Christie, of course. I'm not saying De'Aaron Fox is bad. I'm not saying De'Aaron Fox is worse than DeJounte Murray. But what I'm telling you is if you give DeJounte Murray a good team, or at least just a competent team around him, he can replicate results.
I'm looking at the last 10 games. They beat Dallas, Philly, that's a wash. Memphis, Golden State, Miami. Miami's a wash. They're bad this year. I don't care what anybody says. Boston,
Wait, what
Chicago.
Nick were we comparing DeJounte Murray to? Who's the power forward? Who's the power forward from the Knicks in 2021? Could someone say his name?
Power forward for Knicks 2021. I don't know. Nerlens Noel? I forgot.
Julius Randle.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
I knew it was coming.
Julius Randle.
Me and Matt.
Can anyone else hear that? Can anyone hear that? Because I can't hear that.
Absolutely not. Chris, what was that?
It was Matt. Remember back in
yeah, it was a song called Julius Randle where this guy just
Marlon Kraft, a Knicks fan, who's a rapper.
Sorry, I called him this guy. Yeah, well-known Knick fan, Marlon Kraft.
Dude, Knicks Twitter, baby. So he made that song, and when Matt and I would pregame going out to parties, and since we were underage, this is obvious, or at the time this is all allegedly, but when we would allegedly pregame and drink before parties, but this didn't actually happen. It's just 2 other white guys who look like us. Those 2 guys, they would play the Julius Randle song because one of them the guy who allegedly would have been on the top left of the screen might have kept playing it. And It Ain't Easy by LeBron James featuring Kevin Durant, the greatest rap song of all time. But no, Matt, you haven't talked enough, so I'm going to ask you some speed round questions. And Marcel and Dariel, I want your guys' answers as well. Okay. Should the Knicks trade Mitchell Robinson right now or at the deadline? Matt, what's up?
Okay, I gotta answer this question with a question for Marcel, because I'm hearing that outside the Knicks organization, Mitchell Robinson is seen as a tank trade candidate. Marcel, are you? I know your Mavs got a lot of injuries. Are you afraid that if you trade for Mitchell Robinson, he would just be constantly injured, or is he someone that you're interested in trading for?
How old is Mitchell Robinson now?
26.
Well, I want to say you're right. It's 26 or 27.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
And he is injury prone. He's got a history of it.
Very.
He's 26. History.
Yeah, no, he's a tank piece. You get him if you don't necessarily care about the next few years. So if I'm Toronto, I'll trade for you. Yeah.
Okay. So Chris, you're saying would I trade Mitch? I would say no, because I don't think we get the right return that we need. I would rather sit on him, hope he's healthy, and hope he can help us, because like we talk about on these streams every Friday, he is the piece that could save this Knicks run, because we need more rim protection and we need another center. We need a real center, not Precious. I love Precious. He's not a real center. So we need real rim protection. We need a real bully ball guy. Dariel loves the back down bully ball. We need a guy who can do that. He's going to run up those offensive rebounds. We lost Hartenstein, who's great at that. We need that back. So Mitchell Robinson could potentially, if he's healthy, be the perfect piece we need. So no, I would say do not trade Mitchell Robinson.
Depends on the trade. If there's, I know that's a cop-out answer, but it really depends on the trade. I don't know, Nick Richards got traded, so that sucks for us. So like we can't even look at that anymore.
When that happened.
Yeah, I was thinking about you.
I was sitting on my couch and I just rolled off and fell to my knees. I love
R.I.P.
Chris so much.
Dude, Chris, how many Knicks Digest videos have been made about Nick Richards?
I probably, and Dario, you did a live stream with him in the thumbnail once. You did a whole different video on him once. I know myself, I personally made over 10. I probably made 10 to 20 videos on Nick Richards alone. The person who I've made the most videos about has 1,000% been Mikal Bridges. Because
I thought you were going to let us guess. I knew it was going to be Mikal.
No, it was certainly, I should have. There should have been a guessing game. I certainly, when Mikal was on the Nets that year, because Knicks Digest, like, Dario, you started 3 weeks after I did, and that was the summer of 2023. Yeah. So I remember I probably would make a Mikal Bridges video probably once every 2 weeks. It was just there'd always be news because Josh Hart wouldn't shut up about it. So it was just constant news. Marcel, who's that guy for you? Who was your big? And then we're gonna get back to some speed questions. But who was the guy for you?
The guy that I'm like always making vids about?
Yeah, like even if it's a Maverick, just out of curiosity, who's the guy you've made the most Mavericks videos about?
That's Luka.
That's tough. Honestly, no. Like I don't make too many videos about Luka. That's not like an update, like Brunson. Injury or accolades, whatever. Man, lately it's been Herb Jones because there's just so much chatter about him. But on the actual team, I've probably talked about Kyrie more, and it's probably because I'm biased. Kyrie is my favorite player. I love Kyrie Irving. So I probably have talked about him more than Luka. And it's funny because in the rare, and anybody in the chat, you can check my channel. And if you look at any and every Luka video that's focused mainly on him, there's people in there saying, "Oh, what is Luka Digest? You just talking about Luka?" I'm like, bro, I barely talk about him. I'm talking about Kyrie more, right? So for me, it's definitely Kyrie Irving, and part of it is I am a fanboy. Like I am a huge Kyrie Irving fan. I would probably cry if I ever got a chance, not just to meet him, but to have a conversation with him. Just from a non-basketball perspective, he is someone that I do respect. But from a basketball standpoint, man, ain't nobody like him. Jalen Brunson wishes, but he can't be.
Best ball handler that ever existed on the planet Earth, bar none.
Kyrie.
I think it's actually close. I think it's Kyrie.
Who?
I think
Curry?
You can.
Don't.
I think Steph Curry and Jamal Crawford are close. They're not
so
as good as Kyrie.
Where's Allen Iverson?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I completely blanked. No, you're absolutely right. Iverson's right there as well. He probably, honestly, he's second. I just instantly retract my statement. I forgot Iverson existed.
Marcel's got his eye on you, Chris.
Yeah.
Like, you're suspect. You're good for now, but you're suspect.
Dude,
wait, Marcel, is Iverson your guy?
You look like Aladdin making that face.
So growing up, funny story. Growing up, I'm a child of divorced parents. My mom was a huge Allen Iverson fan, and I remember from a small age to like now, she would always tell me that Allen Iverson is my real father. So like just growing up, I've always watched Allen Iverson. Always a fan of his when he was in Philadelphia, when he was in Denver. Like I loved Allen Iverson. You know, it's crazy to think that back then, early 2000s, at the stature that he had, he led the league in scoring multiple times. Well before that would be the norm that it is today.
I think
he
it's.
also
I think
isn't
it's
6 feet tall. That's just a blatant lie,
dude. I think it's far and few between Kyrie and everybody else. It is far and away Kyrie Irving. Iverson and Steph Curry and anybody else, Jamal Crawford, they're like in their own tier. They're tier 2, but Kyrie Irving is in tier 1 by himself. The things that he can do is ridiculous. What's up?
Do you guys think he's the most? This for all of you guys. Random speed question that I didn't think of. Do you guys think Kyrie is the most skilled player in basketball history?
Yes. No question.
Matthew?
Anybody who disagrees, tell me what he's bad at. What, like, me asking you guys a question. If you could find
Matt,
one thing about Kyrie is his weakness, what is his weakness? What's one thing that Kyrie does bad?
He has none.
What, dunking maybe?
No, stop. That's for casuals. No.
No, because Chris, I'm just thinking right now because that answer was way too fast. That answer was too fast from the other two guys. So I'm trying to think, like, am I missing something here? Because, yes, he's one of the best finishers of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe the best ball handler of all time. Great shooter. So I cannot argue if you want to take him as one. I'm just trying to think if I would take him as the most skilled player of all time.
Kobe's right behind him, but Kobe didn't have the ball handling that Kyrie has.
I would not put either.
But he had Mamba mentality.
Stop. That's not stop.
Yeah, no, hey, there's a reason why I use that.
Kobe had that takeover. Like he could do very well one-on-one on his own. But Kyrie
skills on the court. We're talking about
but skills on the court. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Skills on the court. Like,
exactly.
I've seen Kyrie Irving sauce up Victor Wembanyama and score on him. Does that not take skill?
No, it absolutely does. I just think there's someone better.
I'm gonna say no. I'm not taking Kyrie. I'm taking Steph.
What?
He's changing the game, bro. Changing the game. Yeah. Kyrie does not change the game.
That's a different conversation than skills.
No, Steph Curry is far and away the greatest shooter in history.
His skills were so much higher. Look at Marcel, bro. His skill level was that much higher. They changed the game. He made it a new conversation.
I'm right.
That's a bad take. That's a bad take.
There's one other guy also, but he didn't play in the NBA. There's one guy. He's
Chris Gallagher?
He's a New York legend. No. He actually where did he play? He played in He played in Mexico. His name's Dariel Concha.
I knew it. Yeah. I knew it, baby. Yo, Marcel, you're not going to believe this. I am super washed, but in my prime, baby, they called me the Latino Jesus, dog. Latino
As we just get his nose.
So they called you Jesus? They called you Jesus?
They called me Dariel Jesus Concha on the court, baby. I'm talking about Hakeem, the Dream, Olajuwon, up and unders, reverse pivots, inverse pivots, whatever you want to say, baby. I am the GOAT. Anyway.
Do you know what they used to call me back in the day? Hold on, real talk. Do you know what my nickname was when I used to hoop? They used to call me the Mitten. They used to call me the Mitten because I was like a step below the glove. You feel me?
So you were a defensive player?
Oh, that's all I cared about. To this day, I have no jump shot. I'm trying to any shot I take, I'm trying to bank it off the backboard. My shot quality is poor. However, I can still dunk to this day. I did it last week when I went to LA Fitness. I can still do a nice little two-handed barely dunk.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2". 6'2".
I would have guessed you were like a few inches shorter. Not much shorter. I didn't see you.
Yeah, me too. No
yeah, I'm 6'2". I get up. It's not like I can run up and yam it, but like if I'm down low, just straight up, I can dunk. I can still get up. I still got. Look, grew up
Marcel,
when I was playing.
3 inches taller than you and can hardly grab the rim.
I also played a lot of like track and field, so like my legs are grossly like fine toned.
How old are you, Marcel?
I just turned 30 last week.
Damn, you still dunking it? Okay, salute.
It took me a while. It took me a while to get back to it, but like in my prime, yeah, I was just all about defense. One of the players I really looked up to and I try to model my game after when I was younger was Sean Marion. That's probably the most obscure pick, but like watching him play for Toronto and Dallas, like I just liked the way that he played, his defense, the way that he facilitated, the way that he took smart shots because he had a really weird form, but it worked. But I always loved his style of play. That's what I looked up to. For me, man, defense. I only care about defense because guess what? If you're the best defender on your team, you will always get minutes. Bottom line.
Why'd you pick Shawn Marion from the Toronto Raptors and the other team? That's like washed up Shawn Marion. I thought you were gonna say Phoenix Suns.
So when I was a young one, I grew up watching the Raptors, and I saw Shawn Marion. I'm like, yo, he's nice. Then he goes to Dallas, wins the champion. Like, yo, he's nice. I also was a big fan of a New York legend, Amar'e Stoudemire. Huge fan of Amar'e Stoudemire.
Arguably, I'm gonna put it on wax. He could have been the best power forward of all time if he got healthy. If he stayed healthy.
I agree.
I'm telling you.
He was so good, dude. He was such a good scorer. That year was fun.
Matt, before we move on, that take is horrible. Steph Curry, that's horrible. Like,
so here's let me defend myself a little bit here. Finishing, they're right next to each other. Finishing, they're both wizards.
No, they're not.
Oh my god, they're both wizards at the rim. Steph Curry.
Oh my god.
So Matt, my question to you is this: as far as finishing at the rim, yes, if they're wide open lane, or even if they got to run through traffic, I'll give you that. Post game. They're both small guards, but post game, I'm giving that to Kyrie every time.
Yeah,
I would give it to Kyrie too. But I mean, okay, so where I'm going, like we got the finishing, I'm putting them even. Ball handling, I'm putting Kyrie a little barely above Steph, but above him. But the shooting, the gap is real big for me because Kyrie is a phenomenal shooter. He's a phenomenal shooter. But Steph, like I don't have to sell Steph Curry's shooting to anybody right now. That's
one skill. That's one skill that Steph is.
But Dariel, to me, the other skills are all close, except for the post.
But they're not.
When you're a small guard, I don't hold post play in high regard. That's not a skill that I think should move the needle as much as the ball handling, the finishing, the shooting should, because that's what the small guards do.
Dog, every other skill besides the post up, I get it because I get why you don't really count that. But let's talk about finishing with the left hand, finishing with the right hand, the ball handling, the pivot, the reverse pivot. Like, what are we talking? Steph Curry's one skill, the shooting, is like I said, he's number one. It's not even a question. But then everything else is not a conversation. Kyrie, that's why if you incorporate all the skills, Kyrie is a way better skilled player, way much more skilled player than Steph Curry.
I think. And this may be me trying to take the safe route. Steph and Kyrie are both two of the best point guards in the league right now. As far as, maybe not today, but as far as the bodies of work, they have been at peaks that other point guards may never reach. Each of them have areas that they're very good at, one over the other. They also have areas where maybe not the best. Matt, you got me thinking, though. You really do have me thinking when it comes to Steph versus Kyrie, who's the most skilled. But when you look at the very fine things, like what Dariel was saying, like Kyrie has better footwork, and that is a fact.
Yeah,
he has better footwork.
But Steph is
also
a skill. Some of the greatest footwork of all time.
No, but Chris, but with the footwork, Steph Curry somehow, to me, his ball handling is just barely below, even with worse footwork. His finishing's just barely below. Or even with the worst footwork, somehow he makes it work.
The footwork. When have we heard a conversation about Steph Curry's footwork? I've heard Kyrie conversations about.
Because it's cool to talk about this stuff with Kyrie, where Steph Curry, the casual internet discussion will always only be about his 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
Because he's so far and away the greatest shooter in history. There's no one who comes remotely close to Steph Curry.
That's one skill.
It doesn't matter. It's the only discourse ever had about Steph. So if your argument is, when have we heard about this about Steph Curry? When do we hear about the fact that Steph Curry is not by far, but is without a shadow of a doubt also the greatest free throw shooter of all time? It never comes up. And when it does, it's the only thing that ever comes up about Steph Curry that's not his 3-point shooting. He's as good as anyone when it comes to being a guard. I think he's the second best point guard of all time behind Magic Johnson. I think there's a great argument to call him number one. I think that you can't say, well, Kyrie's footwork is just far and away better from Steph Curry's. No, it's not. Steph Curry's probably the greatest off-ball mover of all time. Without
Kyrie's footwork.
Wait, said Steph's the best off-ball mover?
Steph is one of the greatest off-ball movers of all time.
Yes. Okay, yes. I thought you said
that
Kyrie. No, Steph, yes.
Kyrie's footwork is way better than Steph Curry. Kyrie Irving is able to finish at the rim with the left hand. Kyrie Irving is able to literally
Steph Curry is able to hit threes from the logo.
Pinpoint. Kyrie Irving is able. So is Kyrie. Kyrie can't hit that. It's not part of his repertoire.
And Steph can finish. It's not part of his repertoire.
Hold on.
But Steph can't finish at the same level as Kyrie.
And Kyrie can't shoot at the same level as Steph Curry.
Kyrie can literally pinpoint on the corner of the backboard and be like, I'm going to spin the ball off here, and I'm going to make it go into the rim. Kyrie Irving had a running left-handed hook shot to one of the regular seasons against Denver last year. Do you remember that hook shot he had? That was insane, bro. Steph Curry would never be able to do that.
That is skill.
But Kyrie will never be able to break the record for most threes hit by such a wide margin
that's
when
more
his career is over.
Okay, so hold on.
And that is skill to hit threes.
Hold on. I think what we are confusing, and I may be splitting hairs here. So Matt, I want to ask you: is there a difference between talent and skill?
Yeah, I would say talent has to be natural. You have to be born with talent. Skill has to be worked for and earned.
Right. When you look at Kyrie Irving and to what Dariel said about that crazy shot last year that I almost passed out after I saw, that left-handed hook shot over Jokic in the final seconds, that is a skill. That is crazy, just like that one crazy half-court shot by Dame over Paul George where he called that a bad shot, but Dame Lillard works on that shot. To Dame, that is a good shot. To anybody else, that's a bad shot. To Dame, that is a good shot. For Kyrie Irving, if you ever hear him speak, if you ever really watch how he shoots the ball, he has a very unorthodox way on how he approaches the game. He talks about how he grew up shooting on a backboard that had holes on it, where he had to aim at angles to get it to go in. He's still at the Mavericks practice facility. He only shoots on rims with chain nets. Who is he? Kyrie Irving is a very unorthodox player, which adds to his skill. Steph is very talented. And what Chris said is very true. A lot of casual people will just talk about his shooting. They'll just talk about his shooting. I will admit, I used to only talk about his shooting. I used to say that he's not even that good of a point guard. He's more of a shooting guard because where's his passing and facilitating? Until I sat down and watched him, and there are passes and facilitating. The only thing is he is a driving force on offense, so that overshadows everything else. But Kyrie Irving has amazing footwork. Kyrie Irving has an insane amount of ball control, court vision. The way that he finishes, Steph can finish at the rim. I've seen it. But if Kyrie Irving gets the switch up on the perimeter, that jab step back three, or that first step blow by somebody, I'm taking that over Steph Curry. I'm not saying Steph Curry is a dud compared to Kyrie, but Kyrie Irving, in certain aspects and areas of the game, when you really want to fine tune it and split hairs and really want to break it down, Kyrie Irving does have the edge skill wise. Talent wise, Steph is out of this freaking world.
Let me real quick. The way I would assess who is the most skilled player of all time, I would take the most important stuff like footwork, the shooting, the ball handling, and assign them a point value 1 through 10. And then when it's done, it would end up looking something like this. Kyrie would have 10 out of 10 finishing. I would also give 10 out of 10 to Steph Curry. Ball handling, 10 out of 10 for Kyrie, 9 out of 10 for Steph. Then shooting would be 10 out of 10 for Steph.
12 out of 10.
Can we give him I was going to say, can we go off the scale here for one guy?
You have to for
one guy. I'll give him
his own scale. He needs his own scale.
11. I'll give him 11. I'll give him 11.
Steph can do 15 out of 10. I'm not mad at that.
Okay, but I'm not trying to break the scale here. But the point is, then after you go through the stuff that matters the most, I would figure out more stuff like the footwork. I would do that out of 5 or something like that. And then when it's all said and done, add it up at the end, Steph Curry would win on a scale like that. That's why I have Steph Curry over Kyrie.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay. Well, we made a point about that. But I actually
very quick shout out, because this is Knicks Digest. Jalen Brunson has some of the best footwork in basketball. Also, truly up there right now with today's NBA. And no, Marcel, he is not more skilled than Kyrie Irving. Before we get into it, he's better than Kyrie Irving as of today, and we could have that conversation in a few minutes because I see you getting excited. But he does have some of the best footwork in basketball, and and he's one of the most skilled players in the NBA as well. Just a quick shout out to JB.
Yo, Chris, I have to bring this guy up because whenever we talk about point guard conversations, this guy always gets looked over, and
Ron Baker.
Oh my God, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
But
no.
I have made a promise to myself that whenever I'm in point guard conversations, I'm going to bring this man up because he will never be disrespected in any conversation that I'm in. Isaiah Thomas from the Detroit Pistons. He deserves to be in the conversation for second best point guard at a minimum. If you have Magic, that's it. Just sure. The guy let his team championships in a. That's it.
But he was Kyrie before Kyrie.
Facts.
Okay, Dariel. Wait, sorry. I agree.
No, but the thing is that Isaiah Thomas, he has two championships. He has 2 Finals MVPs under his name, being the best player on the team.
He beat Michael Jordan to go win a ring.
Facts. And then Steph Curry only has 1 Finals MVP. And as far as being the best player on the team, people have the argument between KD and Steph whenever KD was there. Isaiah Thomas deserves so much more respect, and I hate it when people don't give it to him. And I want to ask the panel, the conversation between Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas being number 2, is there a huge gap? Is it Steph Curry number 2, no question? Or are we having a debate with Isaiah Thomas?
Oh, I think it's absolutely Steph Curry.
If Magic is your number 1, let's put him to the side. Okay, let's pretend that everybody here has Magic number 1. Is Steph Curry versus Isaiah Thomas number 2? Is it an argument or is it just Steph Curry number 2, no question?
I mean, I understand why Zeke gets an argument, but Steph Curry's been Steph Curry for the last 11 years, which is the majority of Zeke's career as well. And we've just seen Steph, revolutionize basketball in a way that no one else really has in a very long time. And I think that has an impact just based off his talent alone, plus the fact that he is the world's greatest shooter in history by such a wide margin. I mean, it's the biggest gap between anything in NBA history is Steph Curry's shooting compared to literally anyone else's. When you're talking the GOAT conversation, there's 2 guys who are neck and neck. When you're talking the best center, power forward, Tim Duncan's got a big edge on power forward, mind you. Small forward is neck and neck pretty much.
Is Braun a small forward?
He's played the most time at small forward, so you have to count him as a small forward.
Okay, I'll just make sure we're not putting Just make sure we're not putting Duncan over Braun.
Oh, no. I would call LeBron a small forward. There's just been so many great
unless you want to call LeBron a wild card because he plays 1 through 5. He doesn't play the 2. Obviously, doesn't play the 2.
There
So
are
say
guys
he plays
like that. LeBron,
1,
Giannis,
3,
they're
5,
just
4,
a
5.
complete wild card. They play their own position. Luka's absolutely in that category. He's mostly a point guard the way LeBron's mostly a small forward, but you can't really stick him in one position. And that's the way basketball's been moving.
Chris,
Kevin Durant, small forward, power forward.
I gotta put Steph over Isaiah Thomas, and I don't know if this is gonna fly, but Isaiah Thomas is obviously a legend, Hall of Famer. He was that guy back in the day. He was him and the Bad Boys Pistons, and I'm glad that no one here tried to use the fact that they were the Bad Boys Pistons to devalue how great he was, because a lot of people would argue, oh, they were punching people, knocking them down. That's not basketball. Still had to play good enough to win championships, and they did. Yeah. You can't just go to the finals by knocking everybody out. It doesn't work that way. However, and maybe this is just where you can't really make the argument, but I'd make the argument that Steph, and it's no knock to Isaiah Thomas, but Steph, the best parts of his career, he was battling against the best player in basketball. And on several occasions, he was winning.
You talking about LeBron in the finals?
That LeBron versus Warriors matchup that went, 4 or 5 years straight? You know what I'm saying? Where Steph,
dude, man,
and as far as him only having 1 Finals MVP, do we really? Does everybody here agree that Andre Iguodala deserved it over Steph?
No, absolutely not. But the KD Warriors is
now yes, having KD, that's super team status. But you can't say that you can't say that Steph still wasn't Steph, even if he had KD. He was still Steph, and the fact that he was going up against someone like LeBron James, someone who, regardless of what the media and the public opinion would say, still was the best player in basketball, bar none. But Steph still able to beat the world's best shooter, one of the league's best.
Yeah, but Isaiah Thomas was going up against a prime Michael Jordan, bro.
Yes, and he won 2 championships, and
going through him, right?
And it's and this is where I don't want to be disrespectful, because I got a lot of respect for Isaiah Thomas. I really do. How did he recover? Where was he bounce back?
What do you mean? How did he recover?
Once when Michael Jordan got over that hump, what did he do?
Right, he tore his Achilles probably like a year or 2, and then he retired. Okay, so what are you saying after Steph?
So I think my argument is longevity.
I'm not mad at that.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I think that's the basis of my argument, is because when you talk about Isaiah Thomas, you really only talked about when he was knocking down Jordan, but he wasn't doing that for 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, no, I get it. Isaiah Thomas only played 13 years, bro. Super short, not short, but just as far as like a superstar, like that's super low. I get it, longevity. I'm just saying, but like Isaiah Thomas's peak compared, like you gotta have the conversation. Longevity, Steph Curry, no question. Don't even ask me. But when you talk about their peaks,
let's not
Thomas,
act like Steph is just now possibly leaving his peak. Didn't he just win a championship just a few years ago?
Yeah, no.
With the injured Clay?
Yeah, I still think Steph is. I think he's still in it.
That's longevity. That's dominance.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I just want to have the conversation.
It's that is very hard for me. And another layer that makes it hard whenever I try to, whenever anybody wants to compare players from different eras, is the game changes so much.
Right.
One argument, and let me know if y'all rock with me when I say this. One thing I hate when I hear older players say, so-and-so could drop 40 a game in today's NBA. I could drop 60 a game in today's NBA. It's like, you are discrediting the fact that the game has evolved. Stop. Yeah. I absolutely hate the argument that, oh, it was way more physical. Was it more physical, or they just aren't calling fouls? Because in today's NBA, you can't do what you did back then. And that's not a knock to these players calling them soft. Players are only going to play to what they are allowed to play. You cannot play like the bad boys Pistons. And this isn't Knicks related, this is basketball related, but I got a question for y'all. This was a conversation I had with one of my homeboys, and it was an amazing conversation. And I don't know if I brought this up last time, but Shaquille O'Neal, I got a friend who, it's kind of like in a trolly way, but it starts a good conversation. I got a friend who says that Shaquille O'Neal is the greatest player of all time, and he has one argument for that and one argument only. You will never in your life see another player like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, that's cap. He's not the best player of all time. Shaq's strength was Shaq's skill is his strength. That's not necessarily a skill. He just uses strength against everybody.
Correct.
That's big cap for your friend.
But will you ever see a player like him again? He is literally a one of one. You will never see someone his size and strength and be able to put the numbers up and win like Shaq did. Now, I'm not saying I agree. Like I said, it's just a good conversation. And that ties into what I was saying, how you got a player like Shaq, who was dominating in the early 2000s. He was a force of nature, the most dominant, right? We say he's the most dominant player of all time. You will never see a player like that again because the league will not allow it. Just like how they say defense was so much grittier and they were more aggressive and physical in the 90s. Well, guess what? The league won't allow that anymore. They just won't. So when you compare players from the 80s and 90s to today, it's like they're not allowed to do a lot of things. We're not allowed to hand check. We're not allowed to get physical. Players are shooting more threes now than ever before. So it's hard to compare players when they are forced to play how the game dictates and allows you to play.
Oh, also very quickly, guys. I did throw my phone in anger. That has to do with baseball, but Karl-Anthony Towns is out tonight with an injury. Jericho Sims will be starting tonight. Precious Achiuwa will be coming off the bench. That's the Knicks big man rotation. Obviously, it's what you want to see out of a contender right there is big Jericho Sims. Right there.
I mean, is Huck Porty going to be, like, at some point he's got to – is he getting any minutes, do we think?
Probably not tonight. The Knicks don't want to give him heavy minutes and have him break out, and then they have to pay him more. They want to pay him dirt for the next 4 years as he becomes their backup center next season. That's my guess. Also, if anyone cares about baseball in this chat, Roki Sasaki, one of the great prospects coming out of Japan over the last couple of years, he, like most other guys coming over from Japan, apparently isn't even aware that there's 29 other baseball teams inside of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers just won the World Series again next year and the year after and the year after that. So if you guys like baseball, just watch Knicks Digest or Mavericks Digest instead because there's no point in watching a baseball game anymore. I don't know why I'm going to keep making videos for Yankees Digest.
Is it true that there's like no salary cap in baseball?
There's no salary cap.
If you like the NBA from like 2014 to 2019, we have a sport for you.
Yeah. If you liked when the Warriors, everyone knew they were winning the finals before the season began.
It was cool because you didn't know how it was going to turn out. It's like baseball. Now you know it's going to be the Dodgers versus the Mets for the next 4 years.
Well, those teams can't even play each other in the World Series. It's not even possible.
Let me dream.
They're in the National League together. They can go to the NLCS. They can't go to the World Series together. But yeah.
Wait.
So
The Dodgers definitely bounced the Yankee. The Dodgers bounced the Mets this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
wow,
6.
that was bad. For some reason, in my head, I had those two things flipped. I had the Yankees bouncing the Mets, and then the Dodgers.
The Yankees and the Mets can only
Yankees
beat in the World Series because the American.
No, I understand that. No, that's.
No, you don't.
I had the same things flipped.
No, you don't. You don't.
Okay. All right.
Sorry to let you know.
So the New York Knicks, right?
The New York Knicks, man.
So the New York Knicks.
Facts, please.
So the New York Knicks are in a very interesting situation because you're the second seed. Where are you at?
Third.
Big
Third
We're
seed.
like a game behind Boston.
Oh, dude.
Okay. And honestly, and I'm not trying to sound like a hater, Boston looks a little bit less threatening this year. They just lost to the Raptors, which I'm not putting too much stock in it. Good teams lose to bad teams all the time. That's just what happens, right? I don't think that's indicative on who they are. However, they do look a little bit more beatable this year. If the Knicks stay healthy, if I could promise you that no one will get hurt between now and the end of the season, including the playoffs, how far do you think this healthy Knicks team can realistically go in the East?
Eastern Conference Finals,
Healthy
Game 6.
equals Mitchell Robinson, so I think certainly the Eastern Conference Finals. And
Put it
with
on
Mitch
wax,
there,
baby.
They could beat Boston.
Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6. But now with Cat has 2 injuries on his right hand or whatever hand it is.
Yeah,
That chip in his pinky or whatever it is, man. That's not. That's
So Marcel, do the other teams get to be fully healthy as well, or just the Knicks?
Everybody fully healthy.
Everyone gets to be fully healthy. Okay.
Yep. So you would probably have to see maybe I don't have the standings right now. Actually, yes, I do.
No, we're only worried about Cavaliers and we're worried about Boston.
Let's talk about, do you guys want to talk about the Cavs?
I want to talk about the top of the Eastern Conference and the top of the league right now.
Well,
about how the Knicks 0-2 against the Thunder, 0-1 against the Cavs, 0-1 against Boston.
Love that, man.
Are we going to beat a good team or what? Like, what's going on?
Also, if the playoffs started today, first round, you're playing the Pacers.
Yeah, and Chris, they're 8-2 on their last 10.
And they're still not
and
good.
you had them in the play-in. I remember.
They kind of struggled to start the season, but they've smoothed things out though.
No, we're not worried about the Pacers.
They're not good.
I'm worried about the
I'm
Knicks.
not even being an angry fan. I don't think they were that good last year. I don't think they're good this year.
I mean, they went to 7 games. They went to 7 games with our B team.
Yeah, it was half the Knicks.
Matt, no, you bring up a really good point. Losing to the Thunder, Boston, Cleveland, all those teams, do we have a case to be worried against the better teams in the league? I don't know, man. It's still early in the season. We haven't even hit All-Star break. I don't know, man. But I'm not changing my tune on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm still not worried about them.
Shane, I'm so with you.
34-6, 8-2 in their last 10.
Fake.
Still fake? All right.
Fake.
I'm rolling, Chris. I'm rolling. I'm just saying, but you do have one eye on them, right? You're like this. You're like, right?
Dude, I love the confidence, but watching the New York Knicks last year, regular season, it felt like we could beat anyone, and we pretty much did. The Nuggets came to MSG, mollywopped. 76ers destroyed in the Wells Fargo Center or wherever they play.
The Atlanta Hawks. Oh wait.
Yo. This year feels different, and maybe it's unfair. Maybe it's unfair to compare the New York Knicks, 45 games or whatever into the season versus the end of the season New York Knicks of last year. But I am worried. Whether it's fair or not, I'm worried about the top teams because the New York Knicks don't look good against them. The Thunder were up by like 30 something. What did it get to 40 last game? The Knicks blew a 14-point lead against. Yeah. The Knicks blew a 14-point lead in the first Thunder game. That was pathetic. I mean, maybe you could say it's guys getting tired, but the New York Knicks played a really easy schedule to start the year. We have, I think it's still the hardest schedule from here on out. As of a week ago, we had the hardest schedule from here on out. So I'm a little bit worried. I know this team's going to play better in the playoffs because that's what they do under Tibbs. As long as they're healthy, which we're going to see who's healthy. It's not a question of if we are healthy. It's a question of who's healthy because not everyone's going to be healthy. It just doesn't happen. When Tibbs playing the guys the way he's playing them, it's not going to change. People aren't going to be healthy.
Cat's not going to be healthy. He has that chip in his thumb. It's a wrap. And I don't think he's getting surgery, so he's going to play through it. And that alone, that's going to affect him.
He doesn't
need surgery.
Yeah, it was revealed he doesn't need surgery. So effectively, what's going to happen is they just need to wait for the swelling to go down, and it'll all heal itself. It's just a matter of time. I think Cat will play again in like 2 weeks or so.
So You think he's gonna be out of the lineup for 2 weeks?
He might be. I hope he is in a way. I'd like him to get the rest.
Oh my God, we are screwed if he's out of the lineup for 2 weeks.
They just beat a team that's not very good without Cat. They can win against bad teams. They just need to hold their own.
We have
They're not going to be the first seed.
Until the end of January. It is at Brooklyn and only home games. So the Knicks can work through it.
So it's all
they
home
can.
games.
Facts.
I mean, I was telling people at my job actually that it is only home games, and then I checked. I'm like, okay, we have the at Sixers and at Brooklyn, and I'm like, those are both home games. Last
home games.
2 nights ago, MVP chance at Wells Fargo, love to see it.
Oh yeah, and the Let's Go Knicks pretty much instantly. All right, we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. We usually go for an hour, 15 minutes, so we got a little bit of time left.
Yeah, we always say we're going for a certain amount of time, and then like we go 20 minutes over talking about absolutely nothing.
True,
this is basketball talk, baby. This is for the
people
intellectuals, not the casuals. The intellectual.
Good. I don't want to go anywhere
hoop talks.
If it's not for the casuals, why are you here, Dario?
Oh, you're so funny.
You out here saying Luka not him. I'm ready for that conversation.
Luka's not him. Invite me on your channel any day. I don't run from the smoke, baby. Queens all day. Queens get the money. Yo, Chris, you said you had more like lightning round questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if
all right, we'll go back to that. Do we think the Knicks at all make a trade?
Yes.
You have to.
Track record says they will. So I will stick with that. I'll stand by it.
Who do you think gets traded?
Precious, please.
I think Precious. I think he does.
Precious makes the most sense.
You gotta look at what you have. You have to look at what players you have with value that you're okay with parting with, and you have a lot of rookies on your bench, right? So it's like Precious.
So what is Precious getting you a player of value though? Precious plus, are we trading the first round pick, packaging the first round pick to go get the rim protector we desperately need?
You just moved a lot of first round picks over the summer. I would try not to move anymore. I think you need a veteran.
Precious by himself is not getting anybody.
Okay.
I think if you can get a serviceable veteran back.
So I have a question. I need to bring up a name. Maybe I'm calling my pants down here. I know nothing about his contract situation or his injury situation. Is Steven Adams an option?
They might.
I don't think he would survive. I don't think he would survive playing for Tibbs.
A buyout.
Oh, snap! I didn't even think about that.
But the Knicks have
he'd get re-injured.
Thing with buyouts.
Yeah, injury-wise, I don't know, but contract-wise,
so this is his first year back from his injury, but I think this was like his first major injury. Hold on, Steven Adams injury.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's still on the Rockets, right?
Yeah, he's playing.
So he makes $12.5 million per year, and the Knicks can't match that anyway unless they want to trade Mitchell Robinson for him. And if Steven Adams gets traded and bought out, the Knicks have a weird thing about buyouts because of where they are in the salary apron, which makes it very unlikely that they'd be able to land Steven Adams, as much as I'd like him on the team. I don't know if it's possible.
2 points, 4 rebounds this
Steven Adams and a first-round pick, then I'm down for it. But
he's averaging 2 and 4 this season.
We don't need him for points. We need him for physicality, for veteran leadership, and to give.
But what I'm saying is,
we need him for the dog factor.
I understand that, but you may not have to.
Talking to the fish like Aquaman.
You may not have to buy him. I mean, you can buy him for the cheap is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
I mean, unless that's what the Rockets are using him for right now, which I'm
coming
sure
off,
they are. They got young players.
He's coming off the bench, averaging 10 minutes a game. So
they might be easing him along.
He's played 27 games this season. But I think you definitely need a veteran that can withstand what Tibbs is going to put players through. So, a very sturdy veteran. I'm not too sure what that is.
A smart viewer may say just trade for Steven Adams and don't play him a lot, but Tibbs is not giving anyone a pass. If you're wearing a jersey that says KNICKS on the front, you are never coming off. You're never seeing the
you don't
bench.
You're
never
get a
seeing your
bench
family.
Sheet. Like you don't get a bench seat. Like you're standing the whole game.
Yeah, are we sure that these players are allowed to go home to their families after the game? Are we sure that Thibodeau doesn't have them running laps?
They have sleeping bags in the locker room, bro. They can shower. They'll bring them food. Like they stay here.
Sleeping bags. They run till they collapse, Marcel.
Yo, Marcel, I feel like you asked us the question, but you never answered it. You asked us, everybody healthy, every team in the Eastern Conference, how far can the Knicks go? And I feel like we all gave an answer. What about your answer? How far do you think we can go if everybody's healthy, the Knicks and the Eastern Conference included?
If the Knicks, so let's see the standings, because if the playoffs started today, your first round is against the Pacers. Fully healthy, I'd take the Knicks in 7 games. Only because the Pacers, when they're fully healthy and when they're on one, they'll just outscore you. Defense is mid, but their offense has been seen to be able to break ceilings. But I think the Knicks have enough firepower to beat the Pacers. After that, you're playing either the Bucks or the Magic. And I think you would have a better chance against the Bucks versus the Magic fully healthy. Honestly, you could probably beat both. Magic have a lot of inexperience. They've got a lot of talent, but it's inexperience. You would beat them with experience. In the Bucks.
Okay, so far you got us in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I got you in the Eastern Conference Finals. So between the Cavaliers and the Celtics, I think y'all got a better chance against the Celtics. Yeah, Celtics in 7 games.
Losing? Or
winning? 7 games. Like I said, the Celtics to me seem less impossible to overcome this year.
The Celtics winning in 7.
No, I'm sorry. I have Knicks winning in 7.
Okay.
So you guys going to the finals.
Yeah, if that's the route that you take, fully healthy, I think you can do it.
This is why you're on. Stop fighting with Dariel. Say more stuff like this.
I think if that's your path, if the playoffs started today and you're fully healthy and you play the Pacers, the Orlando Magic, and then if you play the gosh darn Celtics, boom, finals.
You got us losing to Cleveland Cavaliers no matter what round.
I have only seen the Cleveland Cavaliers play once this year, and that's when they played Dallas. I was not impressed by any one particular thing. Okay. They just play the game very well. It's not like they got Donovan Mitchell beating down your block. It's not like they got Jared Allen and Evan Mobley just banging down low. It's not like they got Max Strus and Darius Garland just shooting 10 threes a game. Like, as a cohesive unit, everybody knows their role, and they play it so well. Whereas if you play the Thunder, you're worried about SGA getting to the free throw line 10 times in a quarter. You've got to worry about both Jalen Williams. You got to worry about Chet Holmgren. Like, they've got threats. But when I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's like, y'all just good. There's nothing really special about you. You're just good. You play basketball. That's all it is.
Chris and Matt, that's why I might be changing up my tune, because just the way they're playing is different, bro. Marcel said it. Donovan Mitchell is not looking like his old bum self of trying to be the best player on a championship team when that was never going to happen. He's looking like he's kind of taking a step back, incorporating other players. Kenny Atkinson is looking like baby Jesus as far as like an NBA coach. Like, it's looking different, and that's why I'm looking at them with the side eye. Like, oh, this might be different. So,
their record, and it's no fluke, right? They are 34-6.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Because Dariel, I'm all for when you get to the playoffs. The playoffs are almost a different sport from the regular season. But I cannot ignore that record that Marcel just read off.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's time to take them a little bit more serious than I have.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not.
It's really interesting.
It's not. They have two non-shooters, and they have 2 non-shooters in their front court.
I'm rolling with Quist, baby.
Hold on. Who are the non-shooters?
Mobley and Allen.
So Jared Allen is probably, in my opinion, one of the best.
Jared Allen's good. I gotta watch how I'm not saying he's not good. He's very good.
No. But I mean, as far as like the type of center, because we can all agree that in today's modern NBA, we want stretch bigs and they can space the floor and shoot 3. Center. Yeah. But then you got Jared Allen, who's like, nah, I'm just bang down low. And if you look across the league, he's one of the better ones.
Robinson sunned him.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. But I mean, as far as Evan Mobley,
were brighter than expected.
And as far as Evan Mobley goes, he's definitely taken steps in his own career where he's a lot more consistent. He's actually shooting more threes this year. It's not a lot of attempts, but he is shooting 42% from 3 on 3 attempts, so it's not a lot. But still, he's taking them and he's making them. So, not true?
No, Chris is just being annoying, dude. Everything you said,
I do this on Jets Digest all the time to Matt. Matt will just say something. He'll just spit facts like, well, Matt, that's not true at all. You just made all that up. So I just said it right now. I just said a lie right to your face.
It's like this, and I could be wrong when I say this, but this Cavaliers team reminds me of like Jimmy Butler and the Heat going to the finals. It's like, yeah, Jimmy Butler's playoff Jimmy, but their whole team just plays well. You're not really getting beaten down by one player, 1 or 2 players. It's just a good team. And then you got people on the bench, like they just know their role. And so being 34-6, that's not a fluke. That's not, having an easy schedule. That's battle tested. That's having a coach that knows how to coach. That's a team that knows how to play together.
Huge jump up. Like Atkinson is a great coach.
Gotta be him or the Magic coach. Gotta be coach of the year.
I'm surprised at how
Atkinson.
JB Biggerstaff, I think JB or Bernie, whichever one of the two.
JB.
I always get them confused. Okay, so I'm actually surprised JB's actually had a pretty good season with the Detroit Pistons because last season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was an absolute mess.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Yo, we're not gonna touch upon this because the episode is almost over, the live stream. But we didn't really touch upon Jimmy Butler's situation with the Miami Heat. I'm keeping my eye on that, bro. I want to see what team he goes to because
I actually think he's gonna get traded to Mavericks Digest for Marcel.
Nope. You would see the most angry videos from a bald black man that you have ever seen.
Well, no. Jimmy Butler would be taking over the channel, Marcel. You would be in the package going back.
Yeah,
I'll fight.
How old is Jimmy Butler?
He's 35. He's 35.
He's old, dude. He's been around.
And he wants $100 million contract, bro. No.
Yeah.
Did you see he posted an "I'm back" thing today from his suspension?
Did you also see I'm not sure how true this is, but it was being reported that his team doesn't even want him back.
Why would they?
Why would
I
you
think
want
Kevin
him?
Love probably does because Kevin Love, wants out as well.
He's a locker room
even though
right now.
Even though they're not on the same team anymore, even Kyle Lowry said that like their relationship isn't even the same. I don't know what's going on in Jimmy in his personal life. Everybody knows, even though he's 35 and he's honestly just retired, dog. Like it's okay. Like as a player, Jimmy Butler has shown that he is a great player. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this because I love the guy, bro. It's your attitude. It's your character. It's like, dog, what is wrong with you?
Yo, my guy, but can you blame him? He led the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Finals appearances.
And that's great. I understand.
Nobody.
No, I know that. So his complaints, I hear him. Like Pat Riley fell asleep during the trade deadline like a year or two ago. Let's not forget that. He was asleep while his assistants were trying to get him on the phone to get trades to go through. He failed to really bolster that team. You go out and get Terry Rozier? Huh?
Yeah.
What? Come on now. No. Like Pat Riley, that little meme. Maybe I am washed. Well, maybe you are, old man.
But I gotta watch that interview. Yeah.
I understand where Jimmy's complaints are as far as like you didn't really help me get talent. You didn't really bolster this team. I'm still out here. I get that, but it's in the way that you conduct yourself as a professional. Because if Jimmy Butler didn't do all this crazy mess, do you think that he would still be on the Heat, or would they have already traded him? He has no value. No one wants him because a lot of teams that may want him are like, oh, you have a player option? Yeah, opt out of that, and I'll just get you in the offseason. I'm not trading for you now.
It's more of his contract. The reason why I don't want him. It's not.
He wants too much. He wants too much.
I think the Warriors could panic trade for him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just interested.
The Warriors will panic trade for anybody. Bro. They're afraid to lose to Steph.
They just don't. Yeah, and all right. Here's actually a really good question because I was thinking about this at the gym today. Where do you guys? And I texted you yesterday about happy hour, Marcel. So I actually thought about this then as well because I wanted to ask your opinion. Where do you guys think that Steph Curry would go if he were to get traded? The obvious answer to me screams the Thunder just because the draft picks and.
Are we talking about Steph still being in his kind of peak, or we kind of like
let's say Steph gets traded in this offseason.
Where would he want to go?
Where do you think he would end up getting traded?
He would 110% go to a contender because the organization would not send him to Brooklyn or Detroit. They're not going to do that to him. He's going to a contender, although they're probably going to send him to the East. I would say Chris, Orlando.
I have a very good guess.
Chris, I think me and you on the same page, but we could be completely off. What's your team?
I think he would get traded to the place where he was born. I think he's going to Ohio. I think he gets traded to the Cavs.
I agree too. We just said
Jared Allen, you move him, you let Mobley take over as the center. You get Steph Curry on that team. That is a perfect team. Also, to really put on my tinfoil hat, which I don't have, so I'll change hats a third time into.
I was gonna say the Lakers.
I think that's like the obvious choice. LeBron and stuff.
That's the fan dream trade spot. But
I think if he's gonna get traded, Steph got traded to the Cavs, I think LeBron would try to force his way there as well. Because then LeBron's not going to the Warriors.
That's a lot more likely. That's a lot more likely.
I'm cool with LeBron retiring because I feel like it's not about him trying to compete. It's like he's very much like Jerry Jones. You just want to be in the headlines. Oh, it's me and my son. We're in the league together. Your son's a part-time G leaguer. He doesn't even play every game. He doesn't even travel the team, bro. Like, it's not about winning.
Jerry Jones isn't a top 5 GM though. Or Jerry Jones is running the Cowboys into the ground. LeBron James is still one of the best players in the league.
Very quick, Marcel, are you a Cowboys fan?
No.
Oh,
Who's
dude,
what team?
Jerry Jones right now. Jerry Jones is fighting Woody Johnson for the worst owner in the NFL. He is actively sabotaging that team, letting CeeDee Lamb's trade talks linger the whole offseason and Dax too. Like, what is he doing?
And then the head coach, don't forget the head coach. They couldn't get the contract.
He declined the Bears interview request, even though they never intended to keep him on. That is disrespectful. And if I'm a head coach, I don't want to take that job because I'm not gonna be handled right. I'm not gonna be respected.
Nope. But you know what's crazy, Matt? But do you know what's crazy though? And this is something because I'm in the DFW area and I hear it and it's the most insane thing to me because everything you're saying is true. You got players that are always getting tied up in weird contract negotiations that linger until like the first week of the NFL season.
It's not weird. It happens every time.
Every single time. And then you got head coaches that just get thrown under the bus and they get the run around. But then also, you still have people that want to go there. Deion Sanders is possibly going there. His son said he wants to be the quarterback there. You've got it makes absolutely no sense. The reason why I say that LeBron is starting to become a Jerry Jones, because even though LeBron is still one of the best, that is very true. The offseason, the Lakers did absolutely nothing. You drafted Bronny James and told everybody don't get him. LeBron's like, if you draft Bronny, he's going to decline and go overseas. So you wasted an entire offseason to do what? Draft your son, who should have spent another year in college. The boy is hot dog watered. Me and Dariel could have done better. And then also, you now have your fourth or fifth head coach since LeBron's been there, and he's a podcaster who was coaching middle school.
Yo, Dalton Connect was a good pickup. I can't let you do that to the Lakers. That
if was a really you got a lottery pick, it's not that hard to screw it up. But were you were you showcasing Dalton Connect? Were you throwing him around as he's rookie of the year material? He's our guy. We're gonna give him minutes. No, you were parading around a streamer who puts on the jersey with James on the back.
I hear you on that.
It's all about the headlines. It's not about okay, is this what the Lakers need to win? No, this is what the Lakers need to stay relevant, to be talked about on ESPN. I care about winning. I don't give a damn if you're playing with your son. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say F them kids. I don't care about them kids.
Yeah, Marcel, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. It's a wrap. LeBron, it's a wrap, bro. I know you're gonna watch one of these videos. I don't know if it's a live stream.
Always watches next
exactly. He's gonna watch one of them. LeBron, it's a wrap, bro. Just retire the Lakers. You've already done enough. You've proven to be in the conversation or to be the GOAT. You've done enough more in your career, bro. It's a wrap. Don't go to Cavs. If Steph Curry gets a trade there, don't do it, bro. It's a wrap,
Dariel, just go to the hills. Go to the hills and knock on every door until you get LeBron's house.
But stay away from the fire.
It's actually kind of crazy over here, so definitely not gonna do that.
I mean, you're in Koreatown though. Not to just completely dox you, but what's it like?
I know where he at.
When I texted you, because I was briefly there. I'm coming back in March, I think. But we gotta hang out. And dude, what is the deal? Like, why is LA so hard to navigate? Like, why am I going to downtown LA and there's just a sheer lack of people? Like, you said Koreatown's more of like real city vibes, right?
Koreatown is close to downtown, so you definitely get the urban city vibe. It's not hard to navigate. If you have a car, it's not hard to navigate. Now, excluding the car, yes, you are right. It is a little hard to navigate because the public transportation, it's such a small percentage of where you can get to using the public transportation, a bus or a train. It's a very specific area of like, okay, you could get anywhere, but it's only in this close range. Anything outside of that range, it's not like the subways in New York, obviously, where you could go Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island. Literally, it's not like that. You need to have, it's a little annoying. I don't know why they did it. Dude, I mean, I kind of do know why they did it, but that's like a history lesson that I'm not trying to get into.
I got it in an Uber, ended up at a Starbucks because I just needed like a water, and I couldn't go to a deli because those don't exist outside New York, apparently.
Yeah.
I've been on 2 planes in my entire life. I've been to LA and I've been back. Those are my plane rides. And I end up at a Starbucks to get a water. Then all of a sudden I'm walking for 20 minutes. End up on Rodeo, and then I'm like, what am I doing here? And I just got on a bus, and before I knew it was outside UCLA's campus, where my girlfriend used to go to college, but before she graduated, I don't know why I said that, like she left. It's my girlfriend's college. I'm standing there, I'm like, I don't know how I got here, and she's like, dude, just call another Uber. I'm like, dude, fine. And then
All right,
I
Chris,
found my way back to Santa Monica.
Chris, this is a great story, but it is 7:30, so we got to make some predictions
Matt,
now.
you're telling me Knicks fans don't want to hear me talk about Ubers to Santa Monica?
We don't want to hear you talk about Ubers and your fake girlfriend, bro.
Dude, neither of them exists. That's why I'm covering the photo right here that I'm showing. She doesn't exist. She's not here. Because I don't need to show her.
Like, I don't need to see a picture of you and your sister, bro. Like, we know that you don't have a girlfriend, bro.
You and your sister.
It's that photo of me and Marcel, actually. He's just wearing a wig. I think that's how we end this. Guys, if you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure to subscribe. Also, head over to Mavericks Digest and subscribe to that as well. Marcel, when I say he is one of the best basketball YouTubers out there, he absolutely is. He does the big AJ, big boom dance, which is important. Because we bring the boom! I don't want to get sued. That was pretty good, actually. Hey, that rhymed. Whoa. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the Knicks game. Knicks are going to obviously beat the Timberwolves tonight. Do you guys agree? I say Knicks win by 15.
Yes.
Timberwolves,
I say Knicks win by 100.
Timberwolves suck, and Anthony Edwards is. I'm sorry. Have y'all seen him like complain after every loss?
He's also just overrated. Like, he's great. Don't get me wrong, but everyone's acting like he's the second coming.
I think he's mentally weak. I think he's mentally weak.
I mean,
we're saying he's overrated now.
I'm not saying.
I said that last year.
I'm not there yet. Give him a good team around him. I think he will go nuts. Like MVP
he's in an
voting top 4 nuts.
This you can't blame on him. But the
had a good team last year.
And he played really last year. He wasn't MVP, but he played really well last year. We were people, not us. People were calling him the second coming of MJ. Honestly, it was me, and I stand by it.
You said that?
Yeah.
Oh my
God. All right, we could save that conversation for Stonebridge in Connecticut once April.
We'll talk about it as soon as you press end stream.
Guys, come to Stonebridge and hang out with us. Not right now though. We're not there. Guys, go to Koreatown and look for Dariel. Just keep knocking on doors. Slide into Dariel's DMs if you could.
Don't do that.
Instagram.
I mean, if you're a baddie, definitely slide into DMs. That's different. But
if you're a woman
dude,
and you're
absolutely not.
And you're good looking, slide into Dariel's DMs. If you're anything, slide into Matt's DMs and have a conversation with him about Stonebridge. No, not in a weird way. Just shoot it up with Matt.
Yo, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by
that? What do you mean by that? And guys, if you're a Mavericks fan or just a basketball fan, you want to learn about the Mavericks, make sure to subscribe to Mavericks Digest and then slide into Marcel's DMs as well. And don't slide into my DMs. My Instagram definitely has nothing to do with my name or anything. Shouldn't have said that. That makes it very obvious what my Instagram is. Guys, have a great day and